All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about tuples. So tuples are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Tuple is one of the 4 built-in data types in Python used to store collections of data. The other 3 are list, set, and dictionary, all with different qualities and usage. A tuple is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable. Tuples are written with round brackets. Tuple items are ordered, unchangeable, and allow duplicate values. Tuple items are indexed. The first index has 0, the second item has the index of 1, etc. Ordered. When we say that tuples are ordered, it means that the items have a defined order and that the order will not change. Unchangeable. Tuples are unchangeable, meaning that we cannot change, add, or remove items after the tuples have been created. Allow duplicates. Since tuples are indexed, tuples can have items with the same value, tuple length. To determine how many items a tuple has, use the length function. Create tuple with 1 item. To create a tuple with only 1 item, you have to add a comma after the item. Otherwise, Python will not recognize it as a tuple. Tuple items, data types. Tuple items can be of any data type. Okay? Type, method. From Python's perspective, tuples are defined as objects with the data type tuple, the tuple constructor. It is also possible to use the tuple constructor to make a tuple. Python collections, or arrays. There are 4 collection data types in the Python programming language. List is a collection which is ordered and changeable, allows duplicate members. Tuple is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable and allows duplicate members. Set is a collection which is unordered and unindexed, no duplicate members. And dictionary is a collection which is unordered and changeable with no duplicate members. When choosing a collection type, it is useful to understand the properties of that type. Choosing the right type for a particular data set could mean retention of meaning, and it could mean an increase in efficiency or security. So remember, when you're choosing a collection data type, you want to make sure that it's what you need for that project or for that data. If it needs security, then you need to give it as much security as possible. If it doesn't need any security, then you can use a more loose data type that would fit what you're doing. Okay? So with that, let's jump into our notebook and make a tuples notebook and dive right into this information. All right, so I'm inside of our notebook. I'm on desktop 03 Python Basics, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new notebook, and we're going to call it tuple. Okay? So let's go to new Python 3, and let's do 29. So we're going to title this 29 period space tuples. Okay? And then we'll rename this. And then let's jump into some of the information that we covered on the PowerPoint. Now I realize it was a lot of information. Don't worry. We're going to go over it again. I'm going to review it so that we're not discouraged or confused. I will help you along the way step by step. So to create a tuple, we're going to do this. So let's call this our first tuple, okay, equals, and we're going to do Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Okay, and then we're going to print our first tuple. Okay, we'll run that, and there you go, Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Now you've made a tuple. Okay, now we just covered lists. So I understand if you're not that excited because you're like, Josh, we just did this. I understand. But this is a different data type. So we need to understand the differences between lists and tuples, and this is a very important concept to understand. Okay? So tuple items are ordered, unchangeable, and allow duplicate values. Tuple items are indexed. The first item has an index of 0. The second item has an index of 1, and then 2, and then 3, etc., etc. Okay? Tuples are ordered. So when we say tuples are ordered, it means that the items have a defined an order, and that order will not change. Unchangeable. Tuples are unchangeable, meaning that we cannot change, add, or remove items after the tuple has been created. Allow duplicates. Since tuple are indexed, tuples can have items with the same value. Okay, so let's look at an example of tuples allowing duplicate values. Okay, so if I go here and I grab our first tuple, okay, and we put it here, and we just copy this. Copy all these, and we just add a comma here and then copy paste. Okay, then I print this. Okay, and we do it. We'll just copy this and print it here, right? Then I run it. What happens? We have Google, Facebook, YouTube, Google, Facebook, YouTube. Okay, so it doesn't really have any restrictions on duplicates. I could do this, and all I need to do is add a comma and then paste that in and then run it, and now you get all these here, okay? Because it allows duplicates of the same value as well, okay? Now, tuple length. To determine how many items a tuple has, use the length function. So, what we could do is let's copy this and we'll paste it down here. And then what we're going to do is we can do in the print, let's do print and we'll do length. So let's do length. And then our first tuple, right? And we'll run that. Now it's not going to give me what we want. Print length, our first tuple. Got it. Syntax error on my part. There we go. We have 12 items. So we have 12 values that we can work with. Okay. To create a tuple with one item, you have to add a comma after the item. Otherwise, Python will not recognize it as a tuple. So what does that mean? If you want to create a new tuple with only one item, you need a comma. So that essentially is this. If I copy this, and actually let's copy both of them, okay? And then if I just do this, if I delete all this, and we just leave the comma, okay, and then I print that. Now we're just going to print our first tuple, okay? And when I run that, what's going to happen? Google, right? So it allows us to do that. Now, tuple items, data types. Tuple items can be of any data type. So you can do what? String, integer, Boolean, okay? So let's take a look at that, and we'll just do tuple1 equals, and this is going to be a string. So we're going to do Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Okay, so that's a string. Then we're going to do integer, which is a number. So we're going to do equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then a Boolean, we'll just do true, false, true, false. Okay, so tuple 3 equals true, false, if I can spell false, and then true. Okay, and then we'll print this. So let's print tuple 1, tuple 2, and then tuple 3. There you go. So we got Google, Facebook, YouTube, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, true, false, true. Okay, so you get all that in there. Okay. So a tuple can contain different data types. So you can have a string, an integer, and a Boolean all in one. From Python's perspective, tuples are defined as objects with a data type tuple. Okay. So if I do the type, then it will show tuple. What is the data type of tuple, right? So if we do print type tuple1, okay, it'll show me what the type is. So it's a tuple, right? And if I do 2, what's that going to do? Tuple. And if I just do it like this, and delete this one, and then print it, it's going to throw an error because I can't do that. I'm being sneaky again. There we go. So we'll just do it this way. So I run that like this, and we got tuple, 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 okay? So then we have the tuple constructor. So using the tuple method, we can make a tuple, okay? So for this example, we can do our tuple equals tuple, right? And then we can do what? Apple, Google, Microsoft. Okay? And then let's print our tuple. Okay? And all we did was use the tuple method. Okay? So we got Apple, Google, and Microsoft. So Python collections, arrays. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about this real quick, and we'll comment this out and just put it in there because we are going to be covering set and dictionary in the upcoming sections, and we already talked about list. So I'm going to comment this out. We're going to do Python collections, okay, which are arrays, and then there's 4 of them. So there are 4 collection data types in Python. Okay, so we have list is a collection which is ordered and changeable, allows duplicate members. Okay, then we have tuple, which we're talking about now, is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable, allows duplicate members. All in lowercase, please. Then we have set is a collection which is unordered and unindexed, no duplicate members. Okay, and then a dictionary is a collection which is unordered and changeable, no duplicate members. So remember, this is important to have in here because you understand the different collections, so the different data types. So there you go. So that's an introduction to tuples. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.